Hey there, I hope we are live. Oh, this is so exciting. I think this is our first webinar in this format and definitely not the last. Um, yeah, welcome everybody who's on the call already. And I can tell you this day has been just insane so far. Everything that I was hoping for to happen, it just happened today. And I'm very happy to introduce Ava on the call as well. And we will talk about a few very interesting things about our future in the call. So um, what we have is, it's me. I'm the founder, I'm the CEO of the company. Uh, I've been involved with everything starting from the product development and marketing and just brand development. I'm really, really just proud of what has happened today. And then we have Ava. She's our digital brand strategist, and she's going to be sharing some really deep insights into what does really brand stand for and what should it stand for, and what is the brand story and how to build that. Right, Ava?
Yep. You guys are going to see the behind the scenes stuff of how a transformation happens. So I think you'll be able to get some insights that you can apply to your business. And we're also going to be talking about how the trends in technology and human behavior. So we're going to make this really candid to begin with, and I'm just going to start. I'm just going to ask Janice, why he wanted to do this in the first place, like create this brand, and why did he think it was so important? What inspired him?
Right. So just going forward, really, so this whole webinar is more about what has happened today, really. It's the rebirth of Mailogen. And, when we talked to Ava about having this webinar, she said, have to have it live because the emotions that you're going to go through on that moment, that day, it's going to be just on a totally different level than just pre-recorded webinar that we could have done before. And the story here that we want to share is about, how we discovered or how we got to the point to realize that this is not about passion, but it is about purpose in what we do. And we're gonna talk about the story behind the brand change, and what are the three trends and how humans are interacting with email, and at the end, what are we doing in 2016 to really bring your results to a different level. So, I think what's really important to realize here when we talk about change is why we actually do it, right? And Ava, what do you think? What is the reason why we do it?
Well, it was really interesting when Yana sat down with me, and we, I think you guys can all relate. It's you're looking for a deeper meaning, deeper purpose behind what you're selling. And so what was really inspiring for me when I was working with Mailogen was just how much they focused on the internal part of your brand and the core values, and really bringing that authentic, who are we as a company, and me using that and looking at the market and how we kind of used their strengths and their values and what inspires them to fulfill a specific niche in the market. So you're going to be seeing behind the scenes of how we did that, and so everything is very organic and natural, and and that's where the deeper purpose comes in. It's a meaning that is beyond just the next feature. So I think you can relate to what you were going through before in terms of burnout and a seeking of something.
Right. Yeah. So really, to give some kind of idea and the background story for everybody, today was a rebirth for our brand. It was almost a year and a half ago, and it's a year and a half in making. What you're seeing today has been work for 50 people, if not more, for a year and a half to get this all done. I think it was December 2014 when I was sitting down with a friend of mine and talking to him about I feel a little burnt out from everything. I know what my passion is, and that's delivering new features to a product that we are selling to our customers. But at the end of the day, is that no problem. So at the end of the day, I looked at this. I just felt that this existing brand that we had still running in the morning didn't really stand for anything. It was a product. It was a software, it was a platform that we're trying to sell, and I was really depressed at that moment. And I decided to embark on this journey of rediscovering ourselves, our values. And this year and a half, my team has been living and breathing the 4 values that we discovered in this process. I wanted to find ways to help us grow and involve in a meaningful ways of less connected to humans, or just have more connection to humans, to our clients. So we spent this year and a half to really look for internal values to deliver something more than just the software and a feature after feature. And then we've really found our true purpose, and then we just put it in these words that I think are so juicy and so meaningful, and those are that we are helping companies to rise and tell their stories through email. And this is really what we do, and we believe everything that we every day that we are going through this, it's just almost like it's in our blood now. It's been last 6 months, been incredibly intense. They've been just so painful at some days because we're not yet there. We're not there yet. But today, oh my God, I was running around the office and giving high fives to everybody. Just this brand just had this moment of just rebirth. I'm so happy.
I know, it's been super exciting. So do you wanna just ask me a question, Janet? About,
yeah. So why I wanted to have Ava on this call as well, because she's a huge part of this whole rediscovery of who we are. And as a brand strategist, what was the most inspiring part in working with us to discover our story?
Right. Yeah, it was what was so inspiring was just the dedication and the integrity to really live the brand. It's the stuff that you don't see. Everybody thinks the brand is all this shiny stuff on the outside, but what is most impactful and the greatest ROI is really how you live it. And so that's what we're going to be sharing with you more is just how we translated these core values, which everybody talks about, into a value proposition. Something that it's not forced, and that's why Janet says we live it and we breathe it and we feel so naturally, and that's what we want to provide for you guys. And so you'll be able to see, how something like this can really drive your business. And we're going to be sharing why it's more now it's the most relevant time to be doing something like this. And so we're going to be talking about the 3 specific trends and how humans are changing the way that we interact with technology, and how we're helping to position you to stay one step ahead through the everything that we're bringing, the rebirth of Maligen is going to provide you.
Right, right, right. You know what? We sent out. We had a birthday, 60th birthday, end of March, and that's when we shared really, the story of the last 5 years and what we learned. And what I wanted to emphasize is everything that we do today is definitely based on our experience that we've gained over the years. We worked with thousands and thousands of customers in hundreds, more than 100 countries, and we've sent billions of emails and millions of email campaigns. So that is just to show that what we're doing is based on real life experience. Everybody that's in this company, 90% of the people that are here, have been with us for years already. They met people, our clients, face to face. They have worked with them to deliver the results that the customers need. So what we're doing really is packaging all that love, all that knowledge, all that experience into everything that we're doing going forward. All right. So our team now consists of 45 people, and we're spread all over the world. What we do, we help local companies, small companies, to grow global, and global companies to go local. That's our mission. That's something we stand behind every day when we fight for every email to get delivered, for any client that has issues with whatever content. This is just something that we do on a day-to-day basis, right? And we have huge plans for expansion. That's coming this year, next year, and hopefully based on these, the past experiences, we will be able to serve even more and more customers around the world, right? So, Eva, let's jump into those 3 trends in technology and human behavior that you mentioned. So what are we going to be talking about?
Okay, so the first is, I'm sure you guys can tell that there's been a definite shift in just what people value in general as humans. And so there's an interesting study, and it's been proven for the last 3,000 years. It's called the pendulum effect. And every 40 years, we actually move back and forth from this me to this we cycle. And you can see it in music. Music is actually one of the first things that instigates a change. Like when Michael Jackson was singing all of his stuff about me, and you can see the change. And so the main thing now, and what's significant for you, is that we are in a we cycle. And what that means is that it's not about the me, which is the individual, which was the 80s and 90s, all about me. It's about this we. It's all about this group, this team, and this tribe. And so what has even compounded this more is that this need for this we feeling, in terms of making people feel inclusive, like they're part of a tribe, is that we're bombarded even more with media to get your attention. And so the question is, who are your customers going to align with? And how do you make them feel like they're part of a collective, part of a team? And if you guys are interested in this generational study, it's this site called Pendulum in Action, and so they specifically help people get better results through this psychological study of human behavior. And so, the main thing is, and I think you guys will know this as marketers, is that it all starts with entering the mind of the consumer. So we know that we need to make them feel like they're part of a tribe, part of collective before anything else, before you can sell anything, before you can ask them to share with you any information. So how do you get in the mind of the customer? And so that's like the big challenge now, is everybody knows that, you know, you need to know your customer first. And how you get in the mind of a customer is really through having a two-way conversation. So as you guys know, that always your conversions happen in conversations. And, you know, so that's more challenging now as we're in our digital world, and we're in a we cycle, so we're not, people need to feel part of a collective, but we're doing it all online. We're not really meeting together as much. So when you start with your email campaigns, for instance, you know, it's the getting to know them. You know, what is exactly going in their mind. Like an email, you guys have all gotten that email where you read it and you think, you know what, they're exactly telling me, or the exact conversation that's in my mind, and they're grabbing me, and so I continue to read your email. So how does this happen? How do these really savvy companies get in the mind of the consumer and create these conversations through email? And so one of the main things is story, and so that's why we've been talking about story. We put together this comprehensive guide. You know, if you just think about real life, when you meet somebody and you ask them a bunch of questions, they're not going to share with you all these answers unless there's a trust. So the customer needs to be able to trust you, and one of the best ways to do that, well, actually the only real way, is through stories, sharing something about who you are, your values, why should they care about you, and, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, humans care about other humans, and so that's what we're trying to emphasize, is that there is another human that's reading your email, and you need to make a connection. And so Janet is going to go through just some things about how we are helping you create these conversations and get better conversions that happen in conversations.
Right. You know, I just wanted to share definitely something that I felt really a personal kind of story that I had to go through over our three series birthday campaign that we sent out over in the March, where this was the first time when we really actually opened up to, you know, our public, talking about our story, where we're from, and what struggles we have gone through. And I was just amazed how positive feedback I got. I wasn't asking for any feedback, and that, you know, 10 minutes later, I got emails from our customers saying, you know, we're with you. We've been through that. I know you're doing great, and just we're supporting you in everything you do. And I just, those first time when I realized, you know, telling stories and opening up and giving that human element to the email creates that trust and creates some relationship with your customers that you can't get with single bulk you know, product offers that most of the email senders might be doing, right? But Eva mentioned, so Eva talked about how do you get that information from these customers that you could use later to create this conversation. And, you know, while first step going collecting emails is through your web forms, you could create, you know, lead magnets, whatever they are, you know, of value, and creating the first trust, right? But how do you get more information afterwards? And that this is where I want to talk about some of the features in a product that we have just launched today, or relaunched. And what it really is, you know, what you're seeing here is an online survey tool that is so powerful for any company to have in their arsenal. Is as soon as you have a subscriber, as soon as you have a customer, you can create beautiful surveys as a follow-up email survey where you would actually ask for his interests, his ideas, his wishes, and target them based on that information. So what you have here is a online survey builder tool that you can have multiple choice, you have different questions, you can build surveys with as many questions as you want and get that information that's needed. You can style it to your brand and liking, and then have individual results afterwards that you can use either to change your offering, either to adapt your email campaigns, and then also see individual answers and use those for segmentation and targeting later. These are the first screenshots that we showed from the product. But if you take a look at the system today, and I want to really emphasize that what you have in front of you is totally new, from ground up, rebuilt mail engine. It's faster, it's more intuitive, it's easier to use. We spent, I think, last 9 months on working on a background infrastructure that will be able to support us going forward for the next years to come. And everything that we do is like the technology side. It's only for you, right? Everything that we built in the product is just to make your marketing efforts easier, faster, so you can have more control over what you do, right? And then we talk about the next thing in our trends, which is the marketer's struggle, right, Ava?
Right. And so, I being in marketing, I'm always in total awe of other marketers, because people don't understand how much we have to do. I mean, just looking at the survey information and all that market research that you gain from just this first step, then how do you use this information? We're asked to do a lot, and we have to write this email. People say, oh, just whip out an email. It's really not that easy, because you have to design it, you have to write the right content, and now you have to target to the right people. And so that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that we need support. We have to be so good in so many different things, and that's where Janice is going to explain how we're helping you to be a resource that for design and for helping to use this information. How do you use this information and create engaging content, engaging stories to exactly speak to different segments? Because not all of your customers are going to be the same. They're in all different cycles of your sales cycle. So that's what Janis is going to be covering next, is that we're going to be helping you, like almost a marketing or content agency, to help you with what you need.
Right. So while we offer you tools, I'm going to mention just briefly in the next minute. One thing that we have been focusing on over last couple of years is developing that expertise based on those, thousands and millions of email campaigns that we've seen go out and we've worked on, is actually helping our customers to develop their digital brand, their email templates that contain that message, that the right message to the right person. So for that, we're offering, what you need to use in going forward is a segmentation that allows you to do demographic targeting and also activity-based filters, right? That's something that is part of a platform right now where after you've delivered a couple email campaigns, you start seeing trends of the subscribers that are either on mobile, like mobile devices or desktops. Either they are on opening or not opening, clicking or not clicking particular content. So you can create segments of these groups of these more engaged users and then target them directly. Or another thing that you can definitely use is building a single email template, but using a dynamic content for each of these emails. And that's a part of the tool that you can use today that saves you time and that creates more personal emails for your customers. Right, so next thing, and this is the most important, right? Timing is everything.
Right. Yes, timing is definitely everything, because now that you've personalized it and segmented, we all know that there's different things that are going on in our life specifically, from the amount of time we have to open an email to what's going on in your life. And, you know, I think of like buying a car or your big last purchase. You know, if somebody offered you that maybe a month or 2 months earlier, you might not have responded, but it was like it was the timing of it. Like, oh my gosh, that person happened to email me, and I really need that today. So, so you may think that getting this information or being reactive to somebody's behavior is impossible, but it's not. And one of the best ways and the greatest things about technology is that we're able to do that based on how they react to their emails. So that's, you know, Janice is going to talk to you about the behavior and how you can track that through what people click on and all kinds of things. So
right.
This is the ultimate, which is really based on, okay, if somebody always deleted your message, but now they're suddenly opening them, you know something's going on.
Right. Oh man, this has definitely been, you know, we spend so much time just making this thing so valuable for our customers. It's coming out next week. What we're talking about here is behavior-based email marketing automation platform, right? That's something that pretty much any marketer has to have in his marketing arsenal. So sending customized messages to users based on their data. It's an if that, then this workflow builder. So you can have 5 different triggers. We're going to be adding more triggers of how can you start an email series based on the behavior within that email series. You can actually create different messages for different subscribers. So let's say somebody signs up for your newsletter. You can send them a welcome email series. You can send them an educational email series, something like this. So you offer them a white paper download. They download that white paper. You send them an email first. If they open it, then you see that they're interested, and you continue educating them with another ebook. If you see they're not interested or they're not opening your email, you can have a more interactive email with a video, and then just continue if and then workflow. This is something that pretty much every marketer is now asking for and moving towards, right? This is the smart email marketing. We have to get past that bulk mass email thinking. As Eva said, right? We have to go from we to me. Right? We have to be talking to these customers on personal level. It's just important. It's just critical for our success, right? And one thing that we want to, you know, just kind of leave you with is that every company wants to sell like Amazon because they know what you like. And what we offer you today is tools that actually allow you to collect that information, group and segment those customers, and then use that information to trigger email series and go through their life cycle, push them through that life cycle to that conversion that you so desperately want. You know, we are here to help you grow by telling your stories, whatever they are. Either it's your company's story, either it's a story about a product, either it's a sales story. So you're still telling your stories. You have to tell them in this interesting, engaging way, but to those people that are interested in that particular information. I hate seeing when you miss your target just because you have this, you cannot come up with something unique and you have to repeat yourself and send everybody that one single message, right? So these tools will allow you to actually target specifically what you want. Ava?
Right. Yes, definitely. And you know, I think, you know, how Mailagent, how we've positioned Mailagent to be different from other companies, say like a MailChimp, or even some of these high-end email service providers that maybe do a lot of the behavioral, is that, you know, it's the storytelling. It's helping you come up with the content, which I think is always a struggle for marketers, to come up with creative content that people care about. So that's where we're really, you know, helping you create more engaging stories, ideas, things that strike a chord with your customers, your values, some things that are directly tied underneath to your product. So, you know, you only need to think about your favorite brands that you're loyal to know that it's this emotion, this feeling that is tied to them that makes you love their brand. So that's kind of what we are going to be offering today. And, you know, for people that are interested in coming up with their brand, you know, this process that I went through with Mailagent was like a 6-month process. And so what we're going to be doing for you is showing you how to apply, you know, coming up with your story in your emails. And so for today, for people that are signing up, I will go through your brand story and help you figure it out and do it in a written format, whether it's you want to use that for a webinar, for your about page, for content for a product launch. So for today, it's going to, normally I would charge, you know, this condensed version would be $1,500. So today, if you want to really get clarity on your brand, like Mailagent has, you've seen all their stuff. Today it would be $297. So that would be 2 sessions with me going through the guide and going back and forth in email and getting a written, copyrighted editing of your story, your about page, your brand, you know, anything you want. So that's on top of that. If you don't want to do that, we have tons of free complimentary guides, a lot of things coming up to educate you on putting the juiciest, best stuff through this platform. So it's not just about fancy tools. You know, if you don't really know what you do and how you're different, you know, none of these tips and tricks are really going to be that impactful. So so that's what we have on the branding side that we're offering today.
Right. So what you definitely have to do is take advantage of Ava here. She is an expert in what she does, and we work with her on different client stories and emails that are just delivering amazing results. I believe that Ava would be a great asset to any company that would want to tell amazing stories and figure out what are their brand stories, right? But what I want to talk about, just one last point, is what can you expect from Mailagent in 2016, right? We are focusing on 2 things, and today was a first step towards that. We're innovating. This is just a first step to what is coming. We're releasing a professional and premium plan and services to our customers. They will come out next week. I want you to, at the end, sign up for a scheduled demo. The sooner the better. But what we are focusing on is innovation. So we're launching new tools like the email automation builder. We're coming out with web sign-up forms and landing pages later this year. Then what we've done is rebuilt our infrastructure and introduced NoSQL Elasticsearch backend that allows much faster real-time segmentation that will allow you to have a much more efficient process. And the other one, which is one of our core values now, is mentorship. So how are we going to do how are we going to present that to you is through just guides on different topics like list building, right? Creative content development, design, case studies from our best customers, right? Increasing your revenue, increasing your conversions, live demos and webinars. This is the first one, very emotional, but the next will follow that are more specific and targeted to already either it's a feature, either it's a concept that you need to introduce in your marketing, right? Everything that we do going forward is going to be based around mentorship and innovation. These are two things, how we want to be, perceived, and how we want to work with you, all right? And the way I like to say, we are humanizing email technology, and it's a blunt statement, but for you to have that control, you need the technology, right? But for you to deliver that story, you need somebody to guide you through that process and help you to utilize those tools, discover what is the deeper meaning in your stories, and then deliver that. Do you agree, Eva?
Yes, definitely. I think that today it's super, super competitive, and we're just being all bombarded. And I think what's missing is this human touch with other companies that are in technology or platform. Is people need help with the human side and the technology, for sure. And that's what we'll be working on. Just from growing your database, things to make your life easier, email templates to ask for referrals. How do you ask for referrals? How do you get more testimonials? How do you create a sales funnel? All these things, we're going to be helping you so you can utilize the platform the best and send out, like I mentioned before, the best type of content. And so I think those two things combined will get you more results and also relieve you of overwhelm that you have of trying to do everything. And it's so much, and so so this is why we want to help you so much, because
Right.
we understand what you're going through.
I understand very well what people are going through, because I've gone through this, I think, a couple times already, and this last one has been just 10 times harder, I think, than the first time. All right, let's try to wrap up with some questions just before the last questions. There's one thing I have to share with you, right? There's a second bonus. The first bonus that you had was individual session with Ava, right? The value of $1,500, and now it's only $297. It's a bargain, right? What this gives you, Ava is just going to go with you through who you really are and what your story is that really would resonate with your customers, and help you to sell more at the end of the day, but just make your brand more human. And the second bonus is the professional plan. Launching July 14. Every customer that we have now, every client, they will receive a free trial for the professional plan. Whatever your plan is right now, we're going to match that with the features and add-ons and everything. But going forward, until the July 31st, the professional plan will be for a 50% discount. We're matching the starter plan price. If you look at our pricing page today, you're going to see that we have starter, professional, premium. Premium is really for those companies that know what they want, but they don't have the resources. They don't have time. They don't have people. and we can help you out with that. But professional plan is something that most of our customers is looking forward to having, is the tools that actually allow you to have that personalized approach to your customers, and we're going to match that price with starter. Whoever is using autoresponders today, online surveys today, we will leave all those features and add-ons enabled for the starter plan. But if you want the automation, the behavioral automation, that's in the professional plan. So you can have a 50% discount for as long as you upgrade your account till July 31st. All right. We're gonna email everybody later early next week about the July 14th launch of professional and automation. So stay tuned for that. All right. Last, I think we are done with the short presentation about the story and about the product, about rebirth and change. I'm excited. My head is just spinning. Today's been insane. Ava, let's answer some questions. All right. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see what we have. What is the key to successfully promote our service or product with your service? Can you answer that?
What exactly is your service, or what do you?
No, what is the key to successfully promote our service and products with your service?
The key to, well, the key to success is I really believe that if you just follow the simple step, and there's so many case studies of like internet marketers that have used surveys or asking the right questions that lead people to exactly telling you what they will pay for. I mean, it sounds very, very obvious, but nobody does it. And so, you know, I mean, I'll mention, I don't know if you guys know Ryan Levesque. He wrote this big thing on the ask and the survey. You have to, nobody's asking the right questions. And how do you engage people to answer your question? And so that's, and then basically, once you know, basically they're telling you exactly what content to market to them. It becomes very, very simple if you ask interesting questions, which I'm sure we'll be coming up with content on helping you, interesting questions that gets in the mind of the customer, and then helping you write the email copy in your email that directly is related to what they will buy and what they need in their exact words. So that's kind of like the simple formula. I hope I answered the question. I wasn't really sure.
No, well, it's true. You know, selling yourself is, I think, a really difficult part. What you want to have is something that you want to have your service, yourself, your product that's so good that you don't have to sell it. Right? So you can talk about, you know, yourself, and people are just gonna be wanting what you have. One more question from the previously submitted list. How will the changes affect the existing APIs? Well, they won't. That's a more technical question. Everything stays the same. We will be adding a few more features to the API, but that stays the same. This question is quite interesting. Which one for email will consider to be most reliable to deliver and be opened using ready HTML template or plain text template? And what's interesting here, right? So what's better, HTML email template or plain text? And it really depends on the purpose of what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to do. We're seeing great results on plain text email campaigns, but they have to go in a mix of more promotional and more kind of design and HTML type of templates. When through the day, you know, subscribed customers receive, you know, tens, if not hundreds, of emails, and the eye has been trained so well already to ignore flashy, the salesy email templates. Then as soon as they see that plain text, they see that empty personal email from your brand, they will definitely pay more attention to that than the HTML email template. But really it depends on the purpose of that email as well. Either it's your manager that is speaking to a broader, wider audience, or it's an impersonal offer. All right. So if you have an offer that you want to do, you can have it. You can have it as a manager delivering to your subscribers in the plain text format, and that will definitely perform better than an HTML template. All right. So one more question. So we have a question in the channel. 1 second. Can I send intelligent emails with dynamic content straight from my e-commerce site? Well, it depends on the e-commerce site that you want to integrate with Mailchimp. Right now, native integrations allow you to do custom contact synchronization, and then when you have all the data on the Mailchimp side, you can have dynamic content, or either pass the XML feed to Mailchimp and use dynamic content to personalize content to each of your customers based on their purchases and preferences. All right, that was a more technical question. Eva, we are over our time. I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity to work with you, and for just great introduction to our listeners and to our clients. I'm very happy with what you've done, the way you packaged our story, and just people maybe don't see it right away, but if you try to understand the content that we're putting out and the way we are positioning ourselves on our website through the product, it definitely has that sense of singularity, and that's thanks to Eva.
Well, thank you. It's been great working with Giannis and the team. They have so much heart, and it's I'm just so honored and to be able to work on their external and internal brand. And so anybody can work on their internal brand. We have lots of things to offer you guys to help create that connection. And I hope you can see here that you don't need to try to be like your competitor. It's good to look at them, but look at yourself first and see how you can position yourself to be competitive just by being more of who you are in terms of your strengths and your values. So you can see how we directly correlated who Mailchimp was, very driven by growth of the individual, mentorship, caring for each other, family, took all of those values and put them as a value proposition for you guys. So it's completely natural and authentic, and you can see how it directly correlates to the trend in the market here. This move to this tribe collective, people want to know who you are, and this type of recycle that we're in. So that's I hope you can see that, and it's definitely a competitive strategy, and if you can easily do that with your business, the branding doesn't have to be all the shiny stuff on the outside, but it's just looking at internally. Yes. So yeah, and I'm excited for the future and coming up with lots of juicy content. So I really encourage you guys to give us feedback on the things that you need help with, topics that you would like to be hearing about, ways that we can help you with using this platform. And bigger picture is your marketing and sales. So it's not just email. It's much more. It's helping. It's a service. There's a service component too. So please share. Right.
All right. What I want to wish, just the last thing. Let's tell more stories. Okay. Let's work on them together. I believe that we will help you to tell beautiful stories and help you to grow, and rise to that next level together. All right. I know there are more questions, and there's a lot of stuff we talked about. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna answer them in a chat afterwards. Stay on the chat if you want. We're gonna send you an email with more details about the bonuses and more about the new professional plan that's coming out next week. And I really want to say thanks to all our customers, all our participants in this project. It's been an incredible journey, and I wish you all success and just keep telling great stories. Bye, guys.
Bye.